So here I am in SketchUp. I'm going to try a bit of a challenging project here. First, I'm going to delete my little person model there. And I want to make a coffee mug, which, as we all know, is a round object. So I'm going to grab my circle here. And I'm going to start drawing. And I'm going to type in 3.5 inches. You can see that's pretty small. I'll zoom in and maybe pan around a little bit just so I can have that nice and centered there. Because let's face it, a 3.5 inch circle based on the scale of most of the models you would make in SketchUp is not too huge. Once I get it kind of like that, here's what I might do is take my line tool and draw diameter and a diameter through there. So I kind of made an X right through the middle of it. And, as usual, my lines kind of snap to the 4 points of the compass, if you will. I'm going to draw another circle here. I'm going to start drawing it, and I'll make that 3.25. When I do that, it gives me this nice little round circle there. I don't need these lines anymore. They were just there to sort of give me guidance when I was drawing this second circle. Come on, erase. And I want to very carefully erase these little lines here too, without erasing my whole edge there. And if I go into my rotate tool, you can kind of see I've got it's still kind of flat as a piece of paper there. What this now allows me to do is I can extrude or push pull this guy up, and I'll make that 5.5 inches. And now I've got basically something that looks like a cup. Okay, it's got an inside there. The water won't spill out, or my coffee won't spill out, and it's looking kind of a mug-ish. So this was actually pretty easy. It's the handle that's going to give me trouble. So what I'm going to do is create I'm going to create a rectangle first. Come back to here. I'm going to create a rectangle where I want my coffee mug handle to come out. I might have to finish that with the pencil point there. And again, if I move around a little bit, you can see I've drawn a rectangle on the side of the mug, but it's very 2D, very flat there. And what I want to do is pull that guy out. So I'm going to click on it and extrude it out a fair ways. Maybe, we'll say 2 inches. Nice and accurate. If I go back to my orbiting tool, it kind of looks coffee mug-ish. Now I want to curve this thing, so I'm going to go into my curves here and grab a 2-point arc. One of my arcs I want here. One of my arcs I want here. And then I'll pull it right out to the edge of that. And then I can erase the rest of this business here. And if I rotate it or orbit it, you can see I got a pretty flat handle there. Also got these annoying little pieces here. I guess I'll erase these guys too. Get rid of those. And see if I can push-pull this guy. Out to the end of my rectangle. Okay, that's not too bad. Except there's no hole in my handle. This is where it gets a little bit tricky. This is where I messed up last time, but we'll see if I can get it right this time. 2-point arc. Somewhere right around there on edge. Somewhere right around there on edge. Do about a half circle like that. I don't know why that line didn't connect. Wonder if it'll let me push and pull that, though. Interesting. Maybe I got to do it on this side. And as you've probably seen from my last few videos, I certainly don't consider myself an expert. I'm just kind of stubborn and just keep trying to pick away at it until it does what I want. All right, I'm going to stop. Okay, so here I am with my coffee mug, and if anything, I have sort of zoomed in a little bit just so it's easier to see. And if I orbit around a little bit, you can see I've got the inside of the mug, and I've got this handle here like this, but there's no hole in the handle, which is pretty annoying. Makes it hard to hold that cup. So I'm going to try and get this just about head-on view. I'm going to click over here to my 2-point arc, and I'm going to make sure that when I draw this, it says that it's on edge. Same thing, go down here, make sure it says on edge. Bring that arc out, and if I rotate a little bit, we can now see that it's got it like that. And I'm going to, use my push-pull, see if I can make this guy kind of disappear. Doesn't seem to be cooperating right now. Wonder if I can do it from this side. Let's try that 2-point arc thing again. And then grab this guy here. Go back a little ways, and if I just click on it, I bet I can delete it. And if I go on this side and click here, I bet I can delete that. And as you can see, I can look through my coffee mug, and I've got a nice little handle there. So, it takes a little bit of persistence, and it is pretty annoying, but it is possible. It's that 2-point arc, and then some sort of pushing, pulling, and deleting whatever it is that you don't want, and you should end up with something that looks pretty much like a coffee mug. Okay, so here I am in my coffee mug model. I want to do one more thing if I can. I've been having some difficulty with it. It's taken a couple of tries to see, but I'd like to try to put my name on it. So here's my coffee mug. If I go to my drawing tools for the rectangle and the circle that we've used already, down here is text. And the height of the text right now is 9 inches. That's way, way too high. I'm going to make that 0.5 inches. And the extrusion is 5/8 of an inch, or about a half an inch. That's actually pretty good. I will change, we'll just leave it in Laura, and I'll make it italic, and I'll type Mr. Pat, and say OK, and there's my text. And I'm going to move it until it gets pretty close to the mug. It actually tells me there that it's on edge, so I'm going to click, and then I'm going to go to my orbit tool to see this a little bit better, and you'll notice that it's only touching a little part of the mug there. So what I need to do is move that, and I'm going to use my move tool here. They have this thing called rotate, and I should be able to rotate it until it's pretty evenly lined up with my mug. If I go back into my orbit tool, there it is, kind of straight off of there. And then I'll use my regular moving tool. I might have to orbit around a little bit just to get myself the proper angle on this. And grab my move tool with the 4 arrows. And grab this object and kind of slide it back until it's in my mug. So we're constantly sliding back and forth between orbiting and move tool. So there it looks like my Mr. Pat letters are sticking out of my mug. Pretty cool. I'm kind of penetrating through the back there. Might be a trick I can use to get rid of that later. But anyway, that's kind of cool. The next thing I'd want to do is change the texture of my mug, or decorate it basically. When I look at some of these things, tile, water, wood, I wouldn't make a mug out of wood. I might make a mug out of stone. So if I pick one of these stone finishes here and click that, and it kind of changed the whole mug. except for my letters that still are in the original thing there. Go around and, oops, I guess I got to go back to my bucket here. And bit by bit, I got to go around and keep on. See, some of these are definitely different areas. I got to swivel my piece around so I can see all the different sections and make sure that I fill all of it with the stone here. Let's see, what do I want to do the inside of the mug? Maybe I'll go with the material. Just use a color. I'll make the inside of my mug white. Go to my paint bucket. And make things white. Rotate it back around. So there's my mug. Wonder if I can fill those with a different color too. Fill the Mr. Pat. I'd have to get pretty close to it. There's an eyedropper tool there for filling things too that's kind of neat. Maybe I'll do it in red. I'll grab my eyedropper. No, it's not working. Maybe I can use the bucket. Nope, keeping it white. There we go. Change the color. Move it out a little ways. Orbit a bit. Oop. Undo. Didn't mean to do that. Orbit a little bit. Come on. And I got myself a pretty cool looking mug here. So I will save that. And that's what I'd like to see. A textured mug with your initials or your name on it. With the handle. Ooh, looks like I missed a little bit of the handle there, huh? The inside edge. How tricky. There it goes. I'm all set then. All right, give it a shot, and when you're done, show your teacher.